In this episode we explore the Tongan islands of Vavau in the north before heading south to explore the Haapai group. During our months in the Vavau group we moved between Yafu, the main town, and a handful of anchorages that showed off the best of the islands. Our first destination in the island group was Port Morel. Turned out to be a bit of a skating rink of an anchorage with thin sand over rock, but the water was beautifully clear. So we started our big hull clean in preparation for our time in New Zealand, because the New Zealand authorities are very strict on biosecurity. So we gradually worked on giving our hull a thorough clean, including all the recesses and niches. So we are leaving Port Morel, very nice anchorage, heading for a new destination. Our next destination was Tapana Bay, which was also very nice and protected with beautiful clear water. And as you can see here, there was a bit of a feeding frenzy. There was lots of bait fish under the boat, so all the big fish took advantage and were there for quite some time. Lisa's Beach was another spectacular anchorage. We did more socialising here, including an OCC dinghy raft up, which became a how many people can we fit into the cockpit adventure.
Wave and smile. Hello. Look at the camera.
Our time in Vavau was almost up, so it was time for us to hitch a ride into town so we could do our domestic clear out and head south towards the central group of the Haapai Islands. Goodbye Lisa's Beach, goodbye Vavau. We had a good overnight sail from Lisa's Beach to Pangai in the Haapai group. The wind was east-southeast, not the promised easterly, so the wind was a bit further forward than we expected, and we had to arc west to get into deep water and hopefully keep clear of any whales. We sailed on a trysail-sized main and triple-furled Yankee to slow us down for a dawn arrival. Even so, we were passing the northern tip of the Haapai group, still in the dark. We used the radar to confirm our position. Once we got to the island group, we anchored off the main town of Pangai. We spent our first week anchored off Pangai during strong winds and wet weather. On the windier days we stayed aboard and spring cleaned the boat, but on better days we dinghied ashore to look around town. We didn't do much shopping there because the islands were pretty remote, but there was nice bread to be had in the supermarkets. After 1 week we cleared out of Pangai and hopped our way south, visiting 4 anchorages along the way. We sailed in company with an OCC Thestral, a north wind 435. Our first destination was the E059 Island anchorage. The water was cleaner and clearer there, so we spent a couple of afternoons swimming on the boat to keep on cleaning the hull, concentrating on the recesses and niches.
Here we are, leaving Uoliva Island in the Haapai group. We've had a very happy time. Pretty bad. Now we're heading for another island to our west. Apparently lots of whales come to the anchorage. We will see.
We had a very pleasant beam reach to Haapai in east-southeast breezes. The anchorage itself was well protected during our 2-night stay, so we took the opportunity to carry on with more hull cleaning. So we are heading for Namuku, our next destination. Our 22-mile passage to Namuka was another close reach, but was still a great sail. As we got closer to the anchorage, we had to motor into the breeze between Namuka and Namuka Iki, anchoring behind the reef in 3 to 4 metres of water over deep sand. As the afternoon wore on, the winds were gusting up to 20 knots and waves were getting over the reef at high tide. So this was not an anchorage for fun, it was just shelter for one night. We only stayed one night in Namuku and departed the next day for the 16-mile sail south to Telefezia Island. This was another great sail where we continued our run of staying ahead of our buddy boat Thestral. We found that the charts of the island are not accurate. There's actually more water than shown on the charts on the bay's western side. But we anchored too early, and we anchored in 8 metres over a mix of sand and coral bommiers, which wasn't great. If we'd used the satellite imagery, we would have seen there's a sandy bottom further in. However, the anchorage was spectacular with dramatic rock formations, crystal clear water and nesting flocks of boobies and frigate birds.
Here we are, heading for Tongan.
Early the following morning, we departed Telefezia to head to Tongatapu. It was quite a long passage, about 50 miles, so an early start was necessary so we could get to our destination in daylight. We had a great sail from Telefezia to Tongatapu. We were supposed to have had a light southeasterly wind, but it was actually a moderate south-southeast, so we were hard on the wind again. Despite that, it was another great sail. We were enjoying ourselves so much that we decided to stand on into the harbour and tack eastwards towards the anchorage, only motoring for the last mile. We initially anchored in the southeast of the bay, waiting for the wind to change direction overnight before heading up to the famous anchorage at Big Mama's. The resort at Big Mama's is very famous with international cruises and is happily recovering after its terrible tsunami that happened a few years ago. Join us next time for our brief stay in Tongatapu before we leave Tonga for the fantastic destination of Minerva Reef. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.